Hello, and welcome back to our series on prayer according to Saint Teresa. Remember that we have begun, if you were here before, we have begun this course on prayer just based on the conditions to pray. Saint Teresa never thought that prayer could be done or could be fulfilled without some conditions before. And the three conditions are going to be the love for one another, the one on detachment, and humility. And as we said before, humility she puts at last, but for her is the most important, because there cannot be love without humility, and there cannot be detachment without humility. So today we are going to look at what is detachment and what are we supposed to be detached from. And we see the definition of detachment, that it's when God occupies the center of our lives, the first place in our lives, and everything else is not a priority. So sometimes we get confused at what detachment is, and detachment we make it to be like having nothing, that we don't possess anything, we are totally, we can live without this. No. Detachment is just placing God at the center of everything. And then everything else that takes place, it's just a priority. And this is why sometimes the Mexicans above all, you hear them saying, God first. When you tell them anything, God first. And that's a reminder that whatever takes place, like the hurricane that took place some time ago, and the earthquakes and the fights, the violence, the virus that we have been having, everything is just placing God in first place, and then just realizing that nothing else is a priority brings a lot of peace to our lives that we don't have. And Saint Teresa says it's very simple in a beautiful writing that she has, that let nothing trouble you, let nothing frighten you. And she says right there, who possesses God, nothing wants, because God is enough. And this talk on detachment is very important for the simple reason is that if we are a person that lives attached to things, either material or personal or whatever kind of attachment it is, we are not going to be happy ever, except at those moments that those attachments are fully blooming. But as soon as something just diminishes in our lives, we will tend to be depressed, we will tend to be unhappy. So Teresa gives us a clue. God alone suffices. He is the center of your lives, He is your main priority, and everything else just passes to a second place. And we are going to see then how detachment is just of two types. Remember that love, we have the affective love and we have the spiritual love, and we always have to try to get that spiritual love that is based on the will and not on the feelings. Now we are going to have two types also of detachment. The detachment that is exterior to me and the detachment that is inside of me. So those are going to be the two types. That the most important is always be the inside part, just like the spiritual love is the inside, the exterior and the interior detachment. We are going to see now, first beginning with the exterior detachment. If I talk to you about exterior things, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Perhaps maybe the material possessions, but not the first thing that comes to mind. It's the family and the friends, because that's the hardest. So the material possessions, all of us, the personal possessions, which are I call material possessions, we'll get there. But all of us have gone through losses of material possessions. And you know that that's not a priority, that your priority for the exterior detachment is going to come from your family and friends. Teresa says that when she left home, it looked like she would have a weight on her that she hardly could move from the pain that she felt by leaving her father. Her father had lost his wife. Her father had lost his wife many years ago. So even though he had 12 kids, 12 children, little by little, they had all been living, the boys, the guys that were already after 20, they had been living to the New World. Those were the times of the discovery of America. So they had been just going, all of them, to Mexico. One went to Nicaragua, to different places in America. And he had been staying just by himself. So when Teresa decided to leave, she recruited one brother so that she would not go by herself. And she went to the Carmelite monastery. So it was very hard to leave behind the father. And it was very hard to leave behind the brothers that were all in many different places in America, knowing that perhaps she would not get to see them again. It's the same thing when I had to leave home. It was very hard just to leave. I ran away because my parents did not want me to be a sister. So I took a cruise ship and I went to Spain. And I became a sister many months ago. I've been a sister for 54 years, and my father never, never, never was happy with my decision to be a sister. But God is first. So you have to have a detachment in a certain way from your family and friends. Jesus says something in the gospel that it's true in every sense. No? Whoever leaves father and mother or brothers or sisters for me will have 100-fold and then eternal life. It's God your priority, that you are going to be at some moment of your life, you are going to need to be detached from your family or from your friends because God is a priority for you in your life. So you have to grow into that exterior detachment, beginning with people you love. This makes easy, let me tell you, and this is very important. Makes it easier when someone dies. To lose a loved one, it's terrible. Especially, they always say that the worst loss that exists in life is to lose a child. If you're a mother or a father that have lost one of your sons or daughters, you have experienced the worst pain, not physical, but inner pain that exists. This detachment makes it much more easier. When in front of the Lord, you can go and you can say, Lord, they were yours from the beginning. You love them more than I do. I let them go. I leave them in your home, in your house, in your heart. To lose a mother, to lose a father that have been good to you, that have meant the world for you, that time of saying goodbye, it's the most painful moment that you can imagine. But if you can get this gift of being detached from family and friends, you can let them go. That's what detachment is, to let go. Let the person go. Let the person be happy in his new life, in her new life. And then just embrace the loneliness that you may feel, the pain that you may feel, and leave it in God's hands. This is to grow in detachment. When I can let go everybody that I love, friends, family, and leave them all in God's hands. So I can really guarantee you that if you grow in your detachment, you're going to grow in your peace and in your strength, because that's what you receive from God when you let those that you love go. Then you have your body that many people are very attached to. Saint Teresa has a saying that there are some nuns that enter into the convent never to die, because they get an aspirin today because they have a big headache, and then tomorrow they get up and they get another aspirin just in case that they get a headache. And this is very normal for us to be concerned about our health. As soon as we begin sneezing, we go and we get a remedy, or we call the doctor. Or right now with this virus, there is a concern for your health, and you have to take care of it. But we are talking about these things that are really not important, that we pay a lot of attention to. To be detached from your body It's not only to be detached from your health. Okay, you get a cold, go to bed early, you get fever, get something for it. Just try to take care of it, but not to give too much importance to it. Not to give, just saying to everybody, you are just waiting for somebody to come to you and ask you, how are you doing? Just to tell the whole story of how bad you feel. We have to learn how to get detached from our own body in the sense of health. And then if we go in the sense of beauty, there are these people that go to gyms and get these muscles that really scare you to see the bodybuilding that they have, or the women that really also cannot gain 2 pounds because then their whole life just it goes to pieces. No, you have to take care of your body and you have to take care of your beauty, but without putting so much Botox in your eyes, or just fixing yourself so that you can look better, or just complaining because you have gained some pounds, or just take care of your body because God gave it to you and it's holy. But not to make a tragedy when something happens to it. I admire the people that in war have lost legs or have lost arms, and you can see them happy and embracing their situation. This is what you call be detached from your health and from your beauty. And be detached from your comfort, not always finding the best seat in the house, the best bed in the house. Just be happy wherever you need to be as far as comfort. And the personal possessions, just a few minutes, because all of us have gone through that. Whoever is Cuban or Venezuelan or Nicaraguan or from another country that have experienced totalitarian regimes, you know what it is to lose everything when you come to a new country. Even you lose your language because you come to another language in many cases, no? And you have to begin from scratch, from nothing. But you know that God is there all along. So I cannot get attached to my, really and truly, to my material possessions because I can lose them in a second. My car that was a wonderful piece of material possession, crashed, gone in 5 minutes. And I go through whatever I may have, and whatever I have lost, you know that God has made you find a way in which you recover, even sometimes better than the way that you were before. So just grow detached. If you lose them, you lose them. The glory for Him. And I'll see you next time in order to begin going into the interior detachment that is the hardest of all.